Some of the biggest headlines of the year just dropped, so listen up. Today let's get started with Paddy Pimblett sends a warning to Ilia Topuria. In a recent interview Paddy did, he was asked how he sees a fight with Ilia Topuria going. He responded by sending a warning to Ilia saying that he wants to smash his face in and he is better anywhere the fight goes.
Shut up, if not I'm gonna stand up and I'm gonna crush your face right here.
Do it then, you little fart.
You have another question?
Do it. Do it then, you little What? Do it?
And before we continue, make sure to leave a like on the video to help support the channel. And tell me what the future holds for you. Obviously, I think most people would love to see you inside the cage with Ilia Topuria. How would you get the job done against to absolutely smash his face for him? I can see me beating him anywhere the fight goes, to be honest. People have put him on a pedestal now. They think he's this big, amazing thing when I'll bring him crashing back down to earth in a big way. Justin Gaethje's manager Ali Diaziz also had an interview where he said that if Paddy jumps the line and the UFC doesn't give a title shot, then he'll stick to his word and retire and never fight again in the UFC. I'm telling you this just in case he never break his word. If he get jumped by Paddy, he will retire and he will never fight again in AFC. I truly believe that. Do you think the Paddy deserves the title shot over Justin Gaethje? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Ali Abdelaziz reveals the severity of Magomed's injury. During a recent interview with Submission Radio, Magomed's manager Ali Abdelaziz revealed how serious the injury was for Magomed Ankalaev. In the interview, Ali mentioned that Magomed couldn't train for 40 days going into the fight. This is what he had to say.
Honestly, it was like kind of almost mutual. Islam is gonna move up. He did everything. He have beaten Charles Oliveira, have beat Arman Sarukian.
The UFC knew about it. He was getting injections, cortisone, and stem cells. The only things he did for 40 days were running, jumping rope, hitting mitts, and doing conditioning. He did zero wrestling, zero grappling. And I hope the UFC appreciates what he did for them to keep the main event going. I think he's one fight away, honestly, from a title. He's 1-1 with Alex. Alex did what he had to do and won. Now Ankalaev needs to go out there and remind people why he was the best guy in the world. I was begging him not to fight and he did not listen. Do you think this warrants an automatic rematch considering the UFC apparently knew heading into this fight? Or do you think Magomed needs another win before fighting for the title? Ilia released a statement following UFC loss. The UFC's latest card at the Apex featured more than one controversial outcome. And due to what went down in the headliner of UFC 321, it's really generating a ton of talk. If you saw the card, you know that for several moments, it looked like heavyweight Dia had recorded his second UFC victory. After he fired away at Waldo Cortez Aosta with numerous punches in round 1, referee Mark Smith jumped in. Cortez Aosta, however, signaled that he had been poked in the eye. And after the replay confirmed that he had been fouled, the fight eventually resumed. Not long after, Cortez Acosta bombed Ilia with a thumping right hand. Well, not surprisingly, what transpired generated considerable debate and outcry. Following the fight, Dia posted the following statement. "I'm not sure if I hit him in the eye. I think it's near the eye. And of course, I want a video where you can see that stab." The referee did not show timeout, but stopped the fight, and therefore declared me the winner. That decision cannot be changed later. The opponents sat and relaxed while watching the footage. Replay used after the interruption, which rules do not allow. After all, the fight continued irregularly. I ask for nothing more, just honesty. I don't run from defeat, not in this way. The sport hasn't seen this yet. It'll be interesting to see if the commission takes a look at what happened and if the result stands. But another reason the incident's making headlines is because Ilia is a teammate of Tom Aspinall, who had his recent fight with Cyril Gane stopped due to eye pokes. And in that case, Aspinall reported he couldn't see the fight was waved off. Since then, Aspinall has taken heat from critics who believe he should have kept fighting. Well, following Saturday's Apex card, Michael Bisping and Daniel Cormier continued to discuss what took place with Dia in light of what went down at UFC 321. I've never seen anything like this in all of the time that I've been involved with mixed martial arts. I have never in my life seen anything like it. It was definitely a first. There's going to be a lot of people talking about Tom after this. I don't think it can be directly related. It can't. No, it cannot. It's just fate almost like, because people are going to talk, right? Delia is a training partner of Tom Aspinall. Tom didn't continue. He said apparently he still can't see. You still can't see. You can't talk. You can't. But Waldo did carry on, and he knocked him out right there. And then he knocked him out. That was the craziest. Jiri Prochazka plans on moving down to middleweight. Jiri Prochazka still has his sights set on fighting for the UFC's light heavyweight belt one more time. But the former champ is signaling once again that a move to middleweight could be in his future. Ever since Prochazka came from behind at UFC 320 to put away Khalil Roundtree Jr., he's been campaigning for another title shot. More recently, however, Jiri attended the Octagon 79 event in his native Czech Republic. While talking with Patrick McCrory, Prochazka was asked about the fact that he recently raised the possibility of dropping to 185 if he doesn't get tapped for a title shot at 205. For me to cut to 205 is not a problem. I think to 185 middleweight will be really something. And I believe I can make it with my body. I know my body, so I believe I can make it, but it depends. I really first want to bring the title to Czech Republic light heavyweight. If you follow Jiri, you know that he also mentioned dropping down to middleweight even before he took out Roundtree Jr. earlier this year. Currently, Prochazka is tied with Magomed Ankalaev in the #1 ranking at light heavyweight. Could the UFC book him to fight Paddy next, even though he's lost to the champion twice already? Is Peter even fighting at 205 next? Or will the UFC call on the surging Carlos Olberg, who has 9 straight fights, has never fought for the title and is coming off a wins-inducing knockout of Dominic Reyes? Alexandre Pantoja sends a warning to Joshua Van before UFC 323.
He's a great champion, but he ain't never fought Joshua Van.
Pantoja is a significant favorite to hear, and still when he faces Joshua Van at UFC 323, and it seems clear you won't hear the champion disagreeing with the odds. Pantoja is booked to face the surgeon contender at the December 7th card, and as it stands right now, the Brazilian is a favorite to win, with odds ranging from 225 to 265. Ahead of the fight, Pantoja spoke with Home Op Fight, and not only did Pantoja proclaim that the fight is going to be easy, he also predicted how he's going to finish the contender.
Joshua Van earlier tonight had an absolutely stellar performance.
Where is here? Where is Josh? Bring it here. Bring it here.
When the date the fight coming is going to be 50-50%, and make your bets, make your bets. If I can bet, but I can, why not submission, bro? Easy money, man. I thinking about the guys in the last my two fights. See the odds. Toa finish with submission. Maybe I need a choke. A lot of money if I can bat. Pantoja versus Joshua Van need a choke. I don't know the rounds, but man, I go to the guy. Now, when you consider that Pantoja has defended the flyweight crown 4 times now, and that he's widely considered to be one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world, his comments here shouldn't be all that surprising. Joshua Van has won 5 straight and is coming off an impressive victory over longtime contender Brandon Royal. But it's certainly true he hasn't faced the same level of competition that Pantoja has. Can he score a big upset at UFC 323? Steve Garcia explains UFC callout. Steve Garcia continued to showcase that he's one of the most dangerous featherweights in the game on Saturday. But it looks like the surging fighter is hoping to face a guy who's really known for, do we need the stretcher moments? Josh EMTT. Garcia faced David Ona at the UFC's latest Apex card on Saturday and proceeded to put away the contender in the first round with punches. The victory was Garcia's 7th straight, and it was the 6th time in that run that he scored a finish. Well, immediately after the bout.
Your winner by TKO, Steve Mean Machine Garcia!
Garcia was asked what he wants next, and he mentioned that he wants to battle the current BMF king Max Holloway. But while talking to the media backstage, Garcia called for a showdown with EMTT. I think one fight that makes a lot of sense is probably Josh EMTT. He has a name on him. He definitely has a higher ranking than I do, and I think he's available, so why not? Let's try to set something up the beginning of next year. I think that would be a fun fight since EMTT was submitted by Yusuf Zal in his last outing. And because the latter is ranked higher, Garcia was also asked about fighting Zal. Garcia proceeded to outline why. He thinks a scrap with EMTT is the better move for him right now. I'll fight Zal, that's not the issue. The whole thing is name recognition. I know Zal just beat EMTT, did a fantastic job of that, but I still feel that EMTT may have a little bit more name value than maybe Zal. Me and Zal will probably cross paths. There's no doubt about it. I just fought his teammate. He's probably already game planning to fight me at some point. If it happens, it happens. And I'm not scared of anybody. I'll go out there and fight whoever. I'll fight 3 people in a night. I don't care. If that's what they want me to do, that's what I'll do. The 33-year-old Garcia also said this. I think to the fans, it's more exciting to fight an EMTT. Let's have headliners again. Let's go EMTT versus Garcia instead of Garcia versus Zal. I think I might be able to sell a little bit more with EMTT than I do against Zal. Does EMTT have more name value at this point? Given that some people still haven't finished talking about his knockout at Bryce Mitchell, it is possible. If you're curious, heading into this weekend's action, Garcia was ranked number 12, and EMTT was sitting in the number 9 spot. Zal, meanwhile, is ranked number 7. Dana White releases fighter for gambling scandal. The UFC's latest card at the Apex was largely meant to serve as a stage for Steve Garcia and David Ona. But unfortunately for the promotion, talk about whether one of the card's fights was fixed is now making headlines. Not too long before featherweights Yadir Delvey and Isaac Delgarin headed to the cage for their fight, reports of some massive bets getting put on Delva started making the rounds. Initially, Delgarin had been the betting line's favorite to win with odds at 240. But by the time the fight was set to happen, the line had tightened to 160. Well, as you may have heard, Delva ended up winning the fight via first-round rear-naked choke. And after the bout, it wasn't long before social media was lit up with concerns. Here was some of the response. Fuffy Season posted the following report via X. He also shared an AI overview that said Bulgarian at one time trained with James Krause, who was ultimately suspended over gambling and betting scandal. We just witnessed the fixed fight at UFC Vegas 110 between Isaac Delgarin and Yadir Delva. 5 huge bets come in on Delva in round 1 through Hard Rock and gets flagged. Delgarian ML from 270 to 135 within hours on fight day. Yadir Delva in round 1 from plus 865 to plus 475. The MMA guru, meanwhile, had this take on what transpired. 270 Delgarian to 150 in the space of 30 minutes. You say all open betting lines close early. Submitted in the first round as one of the best grappling prospects at featherweight. Harry Mack posted this very important tidbit here. The FBI notified the UFC of the abnormal action and line movement and gave them hours to pull the fight. They chose to continue, and from my perspective, are now complicit in fixing a fight. Then Chelson reacted to those comments on X by writing Harry Whack. You list no evidence. I have no idea who knew what or when. The UFC has obligations and contracts with fighters to put on fights. Your time frame for presenting evidence to UFC disproves your theory. Let the pros handle it, Harry. Michael Kaza, who knows a thing or two about fighting and especially grappling, had this to say about it. That wasn't performance. It was absolute trash. He fought like an amateur. You fought like a guy who doesn't even belong here. If that's how you're going to fight, there's other people who are more deserving. And that's not all. People also reported the following interview Delgarin did with MMA Junkie Radio, in which he said that fighters should get a percentage of any winnings that people get from betting on them. Hey, I said.
Hey, I said, don't bet on me unless you're paying me some percentage. I'm doing all the work. That's how I feel about it. Like, I work my ass off every day. You know, I'm trying to support a family with this.
So that's how I think they should do it. Because we're the ones putting our lives on the line. We're the ones, sacrificing everything, training all day long, losing the social life, all that type of stuff. So yeah, if you bet on me, I want some of it. Following everything that's happened late last night, the UFC removed Isaac Delgarin from their roster. According to Ariel Helwani, he said the following on X. Isaac Delgarin, who was submitted last night by Yadir Delva, has been released by the UFC. Sources say he was released today. The official reason was attributed to last night's loss. However, the bout has been the center of controversy after a ton of money started to come in on Delgarin, who is a sizable favorite to lose in the first, which is what happened. And according to one source, the release isn't about a finished contract. The only thing I can confirm right now on my end is Isaac told me he signed a new contract when he signed the Yadir fight. So this wasn't just a we aren't re-signing him after his contract expired situation. He told me he got a new contract. So it looks like the UFC must know exactly what happened to warrant a release to someone who just got a new contract. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss future MMA updates. Stay tuned because, with the way this sport is going, next week might be even crazier.